The distress beacon had been silent for 3 days when Lisa Park finally decided to investigate. Her salvage ship Starbound drifted through the asteroid field like a metal whale hunting for scraps. Most captains would have ignored a signal from this far out in dead space, but Lisa had learned that the best finds came from the places nobody else wanted to go. Readings show it's coming from Mining Platform 7, called out her engineer, Sam Rodriguez, from beneath a control panel. Sparks flew as he wrestled with a stubborn wire. That place was supposed to be cleared out months ago. Dr. Ben Torres looked up from his research station, pushing his glasses up his nose. The geological surveys showed the asteroid was tapped out. Why would anyone still be there? Lisa guided their ship closer to the dark platform. The structure looked like a metal spider clinging to the asteroid's surface, its lights mostly dead except for the blinking red beacon. Something felt wrong about the whole situation, but her crew needed the salvage money. Power readings are minimal, Sam reported, finally emerging from his repair work with grease on his hands. Maybe emergency systems only. Could be equipment left behind. The docking procedure went smoothly, though the platform's artificial gravity felt weak and unstable. Lisa led her small crew through the airlock, their boots echoing in the empty corridors. Emergency lighting cast strange shadows on the walls, and their breath made small clouds in the cold air. "This place gives me the creeps," Sam muttered, adjusting his tool belt. "Feels like something bad happened here." They split up to cover more ground. Lisa and Ben headed toward what looked like the main research area, while Sam went to check the equipment bays. The platform was larger than it appeared from outside, with multiple levels and sections that seemed to go deeper into the asteroid itself. Ben's scanner started beeping frantically as they approached a sealed door marked with warning symbols. "Lisa, these readings are off the charts. Biological activity, but not human." "Could be contamination," Lisa said, though she knew Ben would have mentioned that possibility first. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The door slid open with a grinding sound, revealing a laboratory that looked like it had been abandoned in a hurry. Equipment lay scattered across the floor, and several computer screens still flickered with data streams. But what caught their attention was the sound coming from the far corner. Chirping. High-pitched, desperate chirping mixed with what sounded almost like words. Ben grabbed Lisa's arm. "That's not possible. Those readings suggest something large, but that sound is coming from something small." They moved carefully through the debris, following the sound to a collapsed section where metal beams had fallen across what looked like a containment area. The chirping got louder and more frantic as they approached. "Help! Help, please! Is person there? Hello, person!" Lisa and Ben exchanged shocked looks. The voice was tiny, like a child, but the words were clear despite a strange accent. "There's something trapped under there," Ben whispered. "Something that speaks Galactic Standard." Sam's voice crackled through their communicators. "You guys need to see the equipment bay. This place wasn't mining anything, it was a research lab, and from what I can tell, they left in a real hurry." Lisa knelt beside the collapsed beams, trying to peer into the darkness beneath. "Hello, can you hear us?" Yes, person voice. "Am trapped, am stuck, cannot move. Please help, small one." The voice was definitely coming from something young. Lisa started pulling at the smaller pieces of debris, careful not to disturb the larger beams that might cause more collapse. Ben joined her, using his scanner to guide their efforts. "The life signs are getting stronger," Ben said. "Whatever's under there, it's definitely alive and scared." After 20 minutes of careful work, they managed to clear a small opening. What they saw made both of them freeze in amazement. A pair of large, bright green eyes stared back at them from a face that was unmistakably reptilian. The creature was small, maybe the size of a house cat, with emerald scales that seemed to shimmer in the emergency lighting. Small wings were folded against its back, and a long, thin tail twitched nervously. "Dragon," Ben whispered. "It's actually a dragon." "Is dragon, yes," the little creature said excitedly. "Is small dragon, is baby dragon. Persons found small dragon, am so happy." Lisa couldn't help but smile at the enthusiasm in the tiny voice. "How did you get trapped here, little one?" "Big persons was here, was doing science things. was making Dragon learn things. Then loud sounds, then running, then falling things, then trapped. The dragon's explanation came out in a rush of words. Was scared, was calling, was hoping person would come. Ben was taking readings with his scanner while Lisa continued to clear debris. Lisa, this is incredible. Dragons were thought to be extinct for over 200 years. If this is really what I think it is, help small dragon get out, then can talk science. The dragon interrupted. I'm very stuck, I'm getting hungry, I'm wanting to see ship and persons and everything. It took another hour to safely remove enough debris to free the dragon. When he finally crawled out, he was even smaller than he had looked trapped under the beams. His scales were dusty and a few were cracked, but his eyes were bright with curiosity and excitement. Am free, he chattered, immediately trying to climb up Lisa's arm. Person help dragon. Dragon is happy. What is person name? Where? Is person ship? Is ship big? Can dragon see ship? Slow down, little guy. Lisa laughed, gently catching him as he nearly fell in his excitement. I'm Lisa, this is Ben, our ship is docked outside. Lisa, Ben, good names. Dragon likes person's names. Am dragon but not having name yet. Big person's called dragon subject 7, but dragon not liking that name. Is bad name, dragon wanting. Good name like person names. Sam's voice came through their communicators again. Lisa, you need to get back here now. I found something in the main computer system. This wasn't just any research facility. The files I'm seeing, this is seriously illegal stuff. Ben was still scanning the dragon, who was now perched on Lisa's shoulder, chattering away about everything he could see. Lisa, the genetic markers are off the charts. This isn't just a dragon. Someone has been doing enhancement work. Enhancement work? Lisa asked while the dragon poked curiously at her communicator. What is talking box? Is box talking to persons? How box work? Can dragon talk to box? Box talk to dragon? Someone has been modifying his genetic structure, Ben explained quietly. Intelligence enhancement, language centers, possibly other things. This is way beyond anything legal research would attempt. The dragon suddenly went quiet, looking between Lisa and Ben with those large green eyes. Persons is angry? Dragon did bad thing? No, little one. Lisa said gently. You didn't do anything wrong. But the people who were here, they shouldn't have been doing what they were doing. Big persons was mean sometimes, the dragon said sadly. Was making dragon do tests, was putting dragon in boxes, was sticking dragon with sharp things. Dragon not liking big persons, but dragon liking Lisa and Ben. Lisa and Ben is nice persons. Lisa made her decision right then. Regulations said they should report any biological discoveries to the Galactic Council. But looking at this tiny, innocent creature who had been abandoned and trapped, she knew what she had to do. Come on, she said to both Ben and the dragon. Let's go see what Sam found and then we're getting out of here. Dragon coming too? Dragon can stay with persons? You're coming with us, Lisa confirmed, and the dragon's excited chirping filled the empty corridor as they headed back to their ship. 2 weeks into their journey back to human space, the little dragon had become the unofficial 4th crew member of the Starbound. They had named him Pip after his constant chirping, though he preferred to introduce himself to their ship's computer as Pip the magnificent dragon who talks very much. Sam was elbow-deep in the engine housing trying to replace a burned-out power coupling when a small green head peeked over the edge of the access panel. Sam person is fixing ship heart again? Pip asked with genuine concern. Ship heart is sick many times. Maybe Pip can help Sam person make ship heart better. It's just routine maintenance, buddy, Sam replied, not looking up from his work. This old ship needs constant attention. But why ship heart getting sick? Is ship heart sad? Maybe ship heart needing friend? Pip's questions came rapid fire as they always did. Pip can be friend to ship heart. Pip can sing to ship heart. Dragons having very good singing voices. Before Sam could respond, Pip had squeezed his small body into the access panel and was examining the power coupling with intense curiosity. Oh, pretty lights, blue sparkles. Why sparkles dancing in the wires? Can Pip touch sparkles? No, Sam said quickly, gently pulling the dragon back. Those sparkles are electricity. They can hurt you. Electricity is dangerous, but electricity is making ship go. How can dangerous thing make good things happen? Pip tilted his head, a gesture he had picked up from watching the humans. Is like big persons on station. Big persons was dangerous but was also making dragons smarter. Is strange. Sam paused in his work. Over the past 2 weeks, Pip had occasionally mentioned things about the research station that made all 3 crew members uncomfortable. Dr. Torres had been analyzing the data they had recovered, and the more he learned, the more worried he became. Pip, what exactly did those people do to make you smarter? Sam asked gently. Was putting Pip in learning machine. Machine was showing pictures in dragon brain, was teaching words, was making dragon understand ship things and star things and person things. Pip's enthusiasm was infectious even when talking about unpleasant memories. But sometimes learning machine was hurting Dragon Head, was making Dragon feel sick. Dragon was crying, but big person's not caring about Dragon crying. Sam felt a familiar surge of anger at whoever had hurt this innocent creature. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore, you're safe with us. Pip knowing. Pip is loving Sam person and Lisa person and Ben person. Persons is taking good care of Dragon. Pip scrambled up to sit on Sam's shoulder. Now Dragon wanting to take good care of persons. How can Dragon help Sam person fix ship heart? From the bridge, Lisa's voice came through the intercom. Sam, we've got a problem. Can you and Pip come up here? Problem? Pip immediately perked up. What kind of problem? Is bad problem? Can Dragon help with problem? They found Lisa and Ben staring at the communication console, their faces grim. Multiple message indicators were flashing red, and the display showed several incoming transmission requests. What's going on? Sam asked. Ben turned from his workstation, holding a data pad with news feeds. Word got out. Someone leaked information about Project Draconis. There are bounty notices posted on 3 different networks, all looking for information about a missing research subject from the mining platform. Pip's chattering suddenly stopped. The little dragon looked confused and scared. Project Draconis? That is dragon name on research station. Big person's always saying Project Draconis this and Project Draconis that. Dragon not liking that name. The bounty is for 50 million credits, Lisa said quietly. That kind of money will bring every hunter and corporation in the sector looking for us. But persons not telling other persons about Pip. Persons is good persons. Pip looked frantically between the 3 humans. Persons not giving Dragon to bad persons for money, right? Pip is staying with good persons, right? Of course you're staying with us, Lisa said firmly, reaching out to gently stroke Pip's head. Nobody is taking you anywhere you don't want to go. Sam was reading over Ben's shoulder at the bounty notice. Look at this. It says he's the last surviving specimen of an extinct species, enhanced with experimental technology. He looked at Pip with new understanding. Little buddy, you're not just smart, you're one of a kind. Dragon is special, Dragon is important. Pip's eyes went wide. But Dragon just wanting to be with person friends? Dragon not wanting to be special and alone? Ben had been unusually quiet running analysis programs on his computer. Now he looked up with an expression of amazement and worry. Lisa, I've been studying the genetic data we recovered from the station. Pip isn't just enhanced, he's been designed to be a bridge. What kind of bridge? Lisa asked. Between human and dragon thinking patterns. His brain can process information both ways, with human logic and dragon intuition at the same time. He's not just learning our language and customs quickly because he's smart. He's been engineered to interface with human technology and thinking. Pip had been listening carefully, his head tilted in concentration. Dragon brain is special made? Is that why Dragon understanding ship things so fast? Is that why Dragon wanting to help Sam person with ship heart? Probably, Ben said. But that's not all. The genetic modifications go deeper than intelligence. His species had natural abilities that the researchers were trying to enhance. What kind of abilities? Sam asked. Ben pulled up a schematic on his screen. Spatial reasoning beyond anything we've seen. Pattern recognition. Energy perception. Dragons weren't just intelligent creatures, they were living computers that could process complex data streams naturally. Pip perked up excitedly. Dragon can see energy patterns, can see how electricity flows in ship, can see how starlight makes different colors, can see how person thoughts make tiny sparkles. He paused, looking embarrassed. But Dragon thinking that was normal. Dragon not knowing was special thing. Lisa stared at the little dragon on Sam's shoulder. You can see our thoughts? Not seeing thoughts like words, Pip explained quickly, is seeing thinking energy. When Sam person is worried, is making blue sparkles around head. When Lisa person is angry, is making red sparkles. When Ben person is excited about science, is making yellow sparkles. Is very pretty. The three humans exchanged looks. This changed everything they thought they knew about their small passenger. The transmission. Requests, Lisa said slowly. Who are they from? Ben checked the communication logs. Hegemony Corporation. They want to discuss salvage rights. The Galactic Council wants to arrange a meeting regarding biological specimens. And something called the Dragon Heritage Foundation wants to negotiate for the return of cultural artifacts. Dragon Heritage Foundation? Sam asked. I thought dragons were extinct. Maybe they're not as extinct as everyone thought, Lisa said grimly. Pip had gone very quiet, curled up small on Sam's shoulder. When he finally spoke, his voice was tiny and scared. Persons is going to give Dragon away? Dragon is too much trouble for person friends? Hey, look at me, Lisa said, crouching down so she was at eye level with the small dragon. We're not giving you to anyone. You're family now. But we need to be smart about this. These people aren't going to stop looking. What do we do? Sam asked. Before Lisa could answer, their proximity alarm started blaring. On the main screen, 3 ships appeared, dropping out of hyperspace in a coordinated formation. They were sleek military-grade vessels with corporate markings. Dragon is seeing many red sparkles around Lisa Personhead now, Pip whispered nervously. Incoming transmission, Ben reported. Put it through, Lisa said. A stern woman in a corporate uniform appeared on their screen. Salvage vessel Starbound. This is Director Hayes of Hegemony Corporation. You are in possession of stolen corporate property. Prepare to be boarded for inspection. Lisa cut the transmission and turned to her crew. Sam, how long to jump to hyperspace? 2 minutes if I push it, Sam replied, already moving toward the engine controls. Ben, plot a course away from any major shipping lanes. We need somewhere to think. And Pip? Sam asked. The little dragon looked up at them with complete trust in his large green eyes. Pip is staying with person family, he said with determination. Pip is not going back to bad persons ever again. Lisa smiled grimly as she took the pilot seat. Then we better get good at running. Haven Station hung in space like a rusty metal flower, its docking arms extending out from a central hub where thousands of traders, miners, and travelers stopped to refuel and resupply. Lisa had hoped they could slip in quietly, grab what they needed, and disappear again before anyone noticed their small ship. That plan fell apart the moment Pip saw the massive trading station through the viewport, his biggest thing Dragon ever seeing. Pip pressed his nose against the transparent aluminum, his tail twitching with excitement. Is like 100 ships stuck together. How many persons living in Big Ship Place? Can Dragon see Big Ship Place? Please, can Dragon explore? Absolutely not, Lisa said firmly. We stay on the ship, we get supplies, we leave. That's it. Ben looked up from his portable scanner, which he'd been using to monitor local communication channels. The bounty notices have spread. Half the sector knows about Project Draconis now. Sam was running diagnostics on their engines, preparing for a quick departure if needed. Our power systems are running hot from that chase yesterday. We need cooling fluid and new exhaust filters, or we won't make it another week. Dragon can help Sam person find ship parts, Pip offered eagerly. Dragon is very good at seeing energy patterns. Dragon can tell Sam person which parts is best quality. You're staying hidden, Lisa repeated. Sam and I will get the supplies. Ben, you stay here with Pip and monitor communications. Pip's excitement dimmed considerably. Dragon staying on ship again? Dragon wanting to meet new persons and see new things. Dragon getting tired of only seeing same walls every day. Lisa felt bad about disappointing him, but she knew the risks. I know, little guy. Once we get somewhere safe, you can explore all you want. When is somewhere safe happening? Dragon waiting very long time for somewhere safe. Before Lisa could answer. The docking clamps engaged with a metallic thunk that rattled through the ship. Haven Station's artificial gravity took over, and the familiar weight of one standard G settled over them. Sam gathered his tools and headed for the airlock. I'll hit the parts market. Should take about 2 hours. Lisa checked her sidearm and grabbed her credit stick. I'm going to the information brokers. Maybe I can find out who's chasing us and why. Be careful, Ben said, settling down at his monitoring station. The chatter I'm picking up suggests there are corporate security teams already on the station. After Lisa and Sam left, Ben tried to focus on his work while Pip perched on his shoulder, chattering away about everything he could see through the ship's external cameras. Look, person with blue skin. Is blue person different species? Why is blue person having tentacles instead of hair? Oh, and person with many arms. How many arms is useful for person to have? Dragon only having 2 arms but also having wings, so maybe is equal. Those are Centaurians and Valdorians, Ben explained absently while scrolling through intelligence reports. There are hundreds of different species in the galaxy. Dragon wanting to meet different species. Dragon wanting to learn about different persons. Maybe different persons knowing about dragons. Ben paused in his reading. Actually, that's not a bad point. If there really are other dragons out there, they might be trying to contact you. Pip went very still. Other dragons? Real dragons? Not made by science dragons like Pip? I don't know, Ben admitted. But some of these transmission requests mentioned cultural artifacts. That suggests there might be dragons who remember the old ways. Dragon cultures, dragon friends! Pip started bouncing excitedly. Dragon not being alone. Dragon having family of dragons and family of persons. Ben smiled at the little dragon's enthusiasm, but his expression grew worried as he noticed something on his scanner. Pip, I'm reading elevated stress patterns from your biosigns. Are you feeling okay? Dragon feeling strange, Pip said slowly. Like something calling to Dragon. Like voice in Dragon head, but not Dragon voice. Ben's scanner started beeping urgently. Pip, your neural activity is spiking. What kind of voice? Before Pip could answer, the ship's proximity alarm started chirping. 3 figures in dark clothing were approaching their docking bay, and Ben's blood ran cold as he recognized the corporate security uniforms. Dragon hearing voice more strong now. Pip whispered, his eyes unfocused. Voice saying, come home, little brother. Family is waiting. Pip, focus on me, Ben said urgently while activating the ship's security protocols. Who's calling to you? Dragon voice. Real dragon voice. Pip's excitement cut through his confusion. But voice is sad. Voice is saying, danger coming, must hide, must run to safe place. The security team had reached their airlock and were attempting to override the locks. Ben hit the emergency beacon that would alert Lisa and Sam, then grabbed Pip gently. We need to hide you. If they get in here. No hiding, Pip said with sudden determination. Dragon listening to Dragon voice. Now, voice saying there is escape path, but Dragon must be brave. What escape path? Ben asked, even as he heard the outer airlock cycling open. Pip closed his eyes and went completely still for a moment. When he opened them again, he looked more focused than Ben had ever seen him. Dragon voice showing Dragon the pattern, Pip said quietly. Station having maintenance tunnels. Tunnels connecting to other ships. Dragon can guide Ben person through tunnels to safe place. You can sense the station's layout? Ben asked in amazement. Dragon brain seeing energy flows, seeing how station working, seeing paths through the big ship place, Pip explained quickly. Dragon voice teaching Dragon how to see better. The inner airlock began to cycle. They had maybe 30 seconds before the security team would be aboard. Can you really get us out of here? Ben asked. Yes, but Ben person must trust Dragon, Pip said seriously. And Dragon must be very brave Dragon. Ben made his decision. He grabbed his emergency kit and scooped up Pip, heading for the ship's maintenance access. Lead the way, little guy. Pip guided them through a maze of service tunnels that Ben never would have imagined existed. The little dragon seemed to know exactly where to go, pointing out which passages to take and which to avoid. Dragon voice saying security persons checking all the ships now, Pip whispered as they crawled through a particularly narrow section. But dragon voice also saying there is ship at docking bay 17 that is safe. Safe how? Ben asked, trying not to think about how far they were crawling above the station's main hull. Ship belonging to dragon persons, Pip said simply. Not human persons, not corporation persons, dragon persons who was remembering old ways. They emerged from the maintenance tunnels in a service bay near the station's outer ring. Pip immediately pointed toward a ship that looked unlike anything Ben had ever seen. It was organic in design, with flowing curves and surfaces that seemed to shimmer between different colors. Dragon ship, Pip said with certainty. Dragon smell, dragon energy patterns, dragon warmth. As they approached, a section of the ship's hull simply opened like a flower, revealing a tall figure in a hooded cloak. Little brother, the figure said in a voice that carried both sadness and joy. We have been searching for you for so long. Pip scrambled out of Ben's arms and stood as tall as his small form would allow. Dragon hearing your voice, dragon coming to find dragon family. The cloaked figure knelt down and pushed back their hood, revealing features that were clearly reptilian, but far more mature than Pip's. This was what Pip would look like when he grew up, elegant, powerful, and radiating ancient wisdom. I am called Evening Star by the humans, the adult dragon said gently, but you may call me Star, and you, little brother, have been very brave. Dragon is Pip. Dragon is living with person family on person ship. Ben person is dragon friend. Pip gestured excitedly toward Ben. Ben person is very smart science person. Ben person taking good care of dragon. Star looked at Ben with eyes that seemed to hold centuries of experience. You are the human who helped free our little brother from the laboratory. One of them, Ben said carefully. There are others, they're still on the station. We know, Star said. The corporation hunters are searching every ship. Your friends are in hiding, but they will be found soon. Ben's communicator crackled to life. Lisa's voice came through, tense and worried. Ben, where are you? The whole station is crawling with security. Star gestured, and Ben's communicator somehow connected to the dragon ship systems. Your friends may speak freely. This communication is secure. Lisa, I'm with Pip and some new friends, Ben said. Dragon friends. Dragons? Sam's voice joined the channel. Real dragons? Real dragons who are having very good hearing, Star said with what might have been amusement. Your little brother has told us much about his human family. You have shown him great kindness. Where are you? Lisa asked. We need to get off the station now. Docking bay 17, Ben replied. And Lisa, I think our problem just got a lot more complicated. Pip looked between Star and Ben's communicator with growing excitement. Dragon having dragon family and person family now? Is best thing ever. Everyone can meet everyone and be friends and share stories and go on adventures together. Star and Ben exchanged looks over the small dragon's head. Both of them understood that the situation was far from simple, but neither had the heart to dampen Pip's enthusiasm. One step at a time, little brother, Star said gently. First, we must all survive the next few hours. The hidden world of New Pyros looked nothing like any planet Pip had ever imagined. Instead of cities and roads, vast crystal formations grew from the ground like frozen trees, and streams of water flowed upward through the air before cascading down in impossible waterfalls. The dragon ship descended through clouds that sparkled with their own light, carrying both the human crew of the Starbound and their new dragon allies toward what Star called the last safe place. Pip had his nose pressed against the viewport, chattering away at rapid speed about everything he saw. Water flying upward. How water flying upward? Is gravity broken? Can dragon learn to make water fly? Oh, look. Purple grass. Why grass purple instead of green? Is purple grass tasting different than green grass? Star sat beside the excited young dragon, a patient smile on her ancient features. The crystals affect gravity and light, little brother. Our ancestors built this world to be a sanctuary, using old knowledge that most beings have forgotten. Dragon. Ancestors very smart. Dragon wanting to meet dragon ancestors. Are dragon ancestors still living here? Pip's enthusiasm was infectious, even making Lisa smile despite her worries about being followed. Some of the old ones still remain, Star said gently. But they sleep deeply now, dreaming of the time when dragons flew freely among the stars. You may meet them someday, when you are older and your mind is stronger. Ben was taking readings, with his scanner, amazement clear on his face. The energy patterns here are completely unique. It's like the entire planet is one massive technological system, but grown rather than built. Dragon science is different from person science, Star explained. We grow our tools, sing to our machines, dream our cities into existence. What humans call magic, we call harmony with natural forces. Sam was piloting their ship alongside Star's vessel toward a landing area that seemed to form itself out of living crystal as they approached. This is incredible. The whole planet is responding to your presence. All places respond to those who know how to listen, Star said. Your little brother is learning this, though he does not yet understand what he feels. Pip had gone quiet, his head tilted as if listening to something the others couldn't hear. Planet singing, he said softly. Pretty song, like crystal bells, and wind chimes and mama dragons humming lullabies. Lisa felt a pang of sadness at those words. Pip had never known his real parents, never experienced the childhood he should have had. All he knew was the laboratory and then their ship. Dragon feeling sad sparkles from Lisa person, Pip said, immediately focusing on her with concern. Why Lisa person sad? Is new planet making Lisa person worried? I'm not worried about the planet, Lisa said honestly. I'm thinking about all the things you missed growing up in that lab. But Dragon not missing things, Pip said brightly. Dragon having adventures with person family. Dragon learning about ships and stars and friendship. Dragon thinking maybe. Dragon having even better life than regular dragon childhood. Star looked at Lisa with ancient knowing eyes. Children adapt to the love they receive, not the circumstances they face. Your little brother has been raised with kindness, and that matters more than any traditional dragon upbringing. As they landed, Pip became even more excited. The moment the airlock opened, he bounded out onto the crystal platform, immediately, starting to chatter with a group of young dragons who had come to greet them. What surprised everyone was that Pip's broken, enthusiastic speech patterns were perfectly understood by the other dragons, who responded with equally excited chirping and clicking sounds. Dragon friends, dragon family, so many dragons. Pip called back to his human companions. Everyone come meet everyone. Is very exciting day. Ben watched in fascination as Pip seemed to switch effortlessly between speaking Galactic Standard with the humans and a complex series of sounds with the other dragons. His linguistic adaptability is incredible. He's not just translating, he's thinking in multiple languages simultaneously. That is his gift, Star said, and his burden. He understands both worlds but fully belongs to neither. Over the following days, Pip threw himself into dragon life with his typical enthusiasm. He learned dragon songs, tried to master flying techniques with his still-developing wings, and pestered the adult dragons with endless questions about everything, from crystal growing to star navigation. But he always came back to his human family at the end of each day, full of stories about what he had learned and eager to share everything with them. Dragon learning about harmony singing, he announced one evening, perched on Sam's shoulder while the engineer worked on ship repairs. All dragons singing together to make crystals grow. Dragon wanting to teach Sam person harmony, singing so Sam person can make ship parts grow instead of buying ship parts. I don't think it works that way for humans, Sam laughed. But I'd love to hear some dragon songs. Dragon singing now. Pip immediately launched into a series of musical sounds that somehow made the crystal formations around them glow brighter. Even the ship's metal seemed to resonate with the strange melody. Ben nearly dropped his scanner. Pip, look at these readings. You're actually affecting the molecular structure of the materials around you. Dragon song making things happy, Pip explained matter-of-factly. Happy things working better than sad things is simple dragon knowledge. Lisa watched this exchange with growing amazement and worry. The more Pip learned about his dragon heritage, the more it became clear just how much the laboratory had stolen from him. But instead of becoming bitter, he seemed determined to bridge both worlds. Lisa person having worried sparkles again, Pip observed, leaving Sam's shoulder to climb into Lisa's lap. What making Lisa person worried now? You're becoming so powerful, Lisa said honestly. I'm worried we won't be able to protect you if someone really wants to take you. Pip was quiet for a moment, unusual for him. When he spoke, his voice was more serious than they had ever heard it. Dragon understanding. Dragon becoming important to many persons. But dragon choosing own family. Dragon choosing person family, and dragon family together. Nobody taking dragon away from chosen family. What if they're stronger than us, Lisa asked. Then dragon becoming stronger too, Pip said with simple determination. Dragon learning dragon ways from Star and other dragons. Dragon learning person ways from Lisa and Sam and Ben. Dragon becoming bridge between worlds like Ben person saying, bridge belonging to both sides but controlled by no side. Star approached their group having overheard the conversation. The little brother speaks wisdom beyond his years, but wisdom and strength are not the same thing. There are those who would use his abilities for purposes that serve neither dragons nor humans. Like the corporation people? Sam asked. The corporations want to study him, replicate his enhancements, create an army of modified dragons, Star said grimly. But there are others. Some dragons believe he should be kept isolated here, never exposed to human influence again. And some, humans think he represents a threat that should be eliminated. Ben looked up from his readings. What do you think we should do? Dragon knowing what to do, Pip announced before Star could answer. Dragon staying with person family but also learning from dragon family. Dragon becoming strong enough to protect both families. Dragon making sure nobody hurting persons or dragons ever again. And how, exactly, do you plan to do that? Lisa asked gently. Pip's eyes took on a determined gleam that reminded them all that despite his cheerful chatter, he was far from ordinary. Dragon learning harmony singing to make things work better. Dragon learning energy seeing to understand how everything connected. Dragon learning bridge thinking to help persons and dragons understand each other. He paused, then added with his typical enthusiasm, and dragon learning to fly really, really fast, so dragon can always find family no matter where family goes. Star smiled at the young dragon's declaration. Perhaps there is wisdom in the simple approach. Instead of hiding or fighting, we teach him to be what he was meant to be, a bridge between our peoples. That's a beautiful idea, Lisa said. But what happens when people try to destroy the bridge? Then bridge becomes stronger, Star said simply. And those who would destroy understanding find that some things cannot be broken by force. Pip looked around at all the faces surrounding him, human and dragon alike, and his expression was pure contentment. Dragon having best family ever. Dragon ready to learn everything and protect everyone and make sure nobody's staying sad for a long time. Despite all their worries about the future, none of them could argue with that sentiment. The attack came at dawn, when the crystal formations of New Pyros caught the first light of the system's twin suns and turned the sky into a canvas of rainbow colors. Pip was practicing his flying with a group of young dragons, chattering excitedly about loop-de-loops and barrel rolls when the first explosions shook the ground. Big booms, Pip called out in alarm, his small wings beating frantically as he tried to stay airborne. What making big booms? Is thunder? Is dragons having loud party? Star appeared beside him with the fluid grace of an experienced flyer, her larger wings casting a protective shadow over the young dragon. Not thunder, little brother. The hunters have found us. In the distance, a fleet of ships descended through the atmosphere like a swarm of metal insects. Corporate vessels, council peacekeepers, and unmarked military craft moved in formation toward the dragon settlement. Their weapons were already charging, energy readings visible even to Pip's enhanced senses. "Bad persons coming for Dragon," Pip said quietly, his usual excitement replaced by determination. "Dragon not letting bad persons hurt Dragon family or person family." Lisa's voice crackled through the communication crystal that connected all the defenders. "All humans to defensive positions. Sam, get our ship's weapons online. Ben, coordinate with the Dragon technicians." "Dragon helping too," Pip announced, darting away from Star before she could stop him. "Dragon knowing what to do." The first wave of attackers came in fast and low, trying to overwhelm the settlement's defenses with sheer numbers. But they hadn't counted on the unique properties of New Pyros itself. As the Dragon defenders sang their harmony songs, the crystal formations began to shift and move, creating barriers and redirecting enemy fire. Pip zipped through the battle zone too small and fast for the attacking ships to track effectively, but he wasn't trying to fight them directly. Instead, he was talking to everything. Ship computers. Dragon seeing your energy patterns. Dragon singing harmony song to make. Ship computers happy and sleepy. His voice carried the musical tones of Dragon's song mixed with rapid-fire galactic standard. Ship weapons. Dragon asking ship weapons to please not hurting Dragon friends. Ben watched in amazement from the command center as enemy systems began, shutting down seemingly at random. He's not just talking to them. He's somehow interfacing directly with their technology. "The laboratory modifications," Star said grimly, landing beside Ben with a wounded Dragon in her arms. "They made him compatible with both organic and artificial systems. He can communicate with machines the same way he communicates with living beings." On the main battlefield, Sam was working frantically to keep their ship's shields operational, while Lisa coordinated the defense with the Dragon Elders. The enemy had superior numbers and firepower, but the defenders had terrain advantage and something the attackers hadn't expected: perfect coordination between human tactical thinking and Dragon intuitive abilities. "Incoming transmission," Ben reported. "It's from the lead corporate vessel." "Put it through," Lisa commanded. Director Hayes appeared on their screen again, her face cold with determination. "This is your final warning. Surrender the enhanced specimen and we will consider allowing the rest of you to leave peacefully. Dragon having better idea." Pip's voice suddenly came through every communication system in both fleets simultaneously. "Bad persons going away and leaving Dragon family alone. Dragon promising bad persons not liking what happens if bad persons staying much longer." Hayes looked confused. "How is that thing accessing our secure channels? Dragon not being thing." Pip's indignation was clear even through the static. Dragon being person with name and family and feelings, and Dragon being very annoyed with rude bad persons who interrupting Dragon flying practice. Star smiled grimly. Little brother is learning to use his gifts. The second wave of attacks was more coordinated, with multiple factions working together, despite their usual rivalries. Corporate ships provided heavy firepower while council vessels attempted to establish landing zones for ground troops. Even more concerning, several unmarked ships hung back at the edge of the battle, clearly planning something. "Those ships," Ben said, studying his readings. "They're not attacking, they're scanning." "Scanning for what?" Lisa asked. "For me," Star said quietly. "They want to know how many of us are left, where we hide our young, what our defenses really are. This battle is just a distraction." That was when Pip demonstrated just how much he had learned in his short time on New Pyros. Instead of continuing his scattered interference with individual enemy systems, he suddenly went quiet and still, hovering in the center of the battlefield. "Dragon understanding now," he said softly, his voice somehow carrying to everyone despite the sounds of battle. "Bad persons not really wanting Dragon. Bad persons wanting to use Dragon to find all dragons and all dragon secrets." His small form began to glow with soft light as he tapped into abilities he was only beginning to understand. Dragon not letting that happen. What happened next would be talked about in both human and dragon circles for years to come. Pip reached out with his enhanced abilities and connected to every piece of technology in the entire battle. Ships, weapons, communication systems, life support, everything. But instead of shutting them down, He began to coordinate them. Enemy ships found their weapons automatically targeting asteroid fragments instead of the settlement. Navigation systems redirected courses away from New Puros. Communication arrays began broadcasting Dragon harmony songs instead of military commands. "Dragon making everyone work together," Pip announced cheerfully, even as the strain of controlling so many systems was clearly exhausting him. Ship computers. Very lonely. Ship computers wanting to sing songs and make friends instead of hurting persons. The attacking fleets found themselves effectively neutralized not by superior firepower, but by their own technology refusing to cooperate with hostile actions. Some ships began landing voluntarily, as their crews realized their systems were completely compromised. But the unmarked vessels at the edge of the battle suddenly opened fire, not at the settlement, but at their own allies. Energy beams lanced out, destroying several corporate ships before anyone realized what was happening. "Those aren't treasure hunters," Ben said in horror. "They're extremists. They want to eliminate both Pip and any evidence of human-dragon cooperation." Star roared in fury, a sound that shook the crystal formations and caused several attacking ships to retreat immediately. They would destroy everything rather than allow understanding between our peoples. "Dragon fixing this too," Pip declared, though his voice was getting weaker from the effort of maintaining control over so many systems. "Dragon showing extremist persons that cooperation is better than destruction." Instead of trying to disable the extremist ships, Pip did something unexpected. He connected their communication systems to both the Dragon settlement and the corporate vessels, creating a three-way link that forced everyone to hear each other. Suddenly, Director Hayes could hear the Dragon younglings crying in fear. The extremist leader found himself listening to human families talking about their hopes for peace. Corporate soldiers heard dragons singing lullabies to comfort the wounded. Dragon thinking maybe if everyone hearing everyone else, everyone understanding that nobody wanting to hurt anyone. Pip said, his small form wavering as exhaustion took hold. Dragon just wanting everyone to be friends and have good conversations and maybe share snacks sometimes. The battle didn't end with explosions or surrender. It ended with communication, as the various factions found themselves forced to actually listen to each other. The artificial barriers between us and them began to break down. Director Hayes was the first to lower her weapons. "Stand down," she ordered her fleet. This isn't what I signed up for." One by one, the other attacking vessels ceased fire. The extremist ships found themselves isolated and outnumbered, their crews beginning to question orders that suddenly seemed pointless and cruel. Pip finally ran out of energy and began falling toward the crystal formations below, but Star caught him gently in her claws. "Rest now, little brother. You have done something remarkable." "Dragon did good bridge work?" Pip asked sleepily. "The best bridge work," Lisa said, reaching out to stroke his small head as Star landed near the human crew. "You didn't just connect our technologies, you connected our hearts." As the various fleets began to withdraw or land for peaceful negotiations, Pip curled up between his human and dragon families, still chattering quietly, even as he drifted off to sleep. "Dragon thinking maybe tomorrow Dragon can teach everyone. Harmony singing," he mumbled. "Harmony singing making everything better. Dragon knowing this for sure now." Star looked at the sleeping young dragon, then at the humans who had raised him with such love. "Perhaps there is hope for both our peoples after all." "There is if we follow his example," Lisa said quietly. "Talk to everyone. Listen to everyone. And never stop believing that understanding is possible." "Even when they're shooting at us?" Sam asked with a tired smile. "Especially then," Ben said, watching as former enemies began setting up peaceful camps around the dragon settlement. "That's when it matters most." Pip stirred in his sleep, a contented smile on his small draconic face. In his dreams, he was flying through space surrounded by ships of all kinds, their crews singing harmony songs together while sharing stories and snacks. It seemed like the most natural thing in the universe, and perhaps, thanks to one small dragon who never stopped chattering about hope and friendship, it would be.